No, we're in one of those cycles where we get just barely above freezing each day and then go back below freezing at night. And especially for the areas that got hit hardest by Monday's storm, you get that slight thawing, you get that runoff, and then everything refreezes. So icy spots are going to be a concern as well in the coming days. But again, the cold, that's what you'll feel when you step outside. Temperature wise, we are in the mid to upper 20s in most spots, 26 in Wilmington. It's about the same in Pottstown, 27 in Philadelphia, 26 in Millville. This is a little bit warmer than yesterday, maybe by a few degrees, but the problem with today is temperatures just are not going to go anywhere, and the wind is still just as strong. Take a look at our current wind chills. Right now it feels like the teens. 16 is what it feels like in the city, 15 in Millville, 14 in Trenton, and 14 in Wilmington, and that is due to a gusty west-northwest wind that's not only going to be with us today, but unfortunately will stay with us right through tomorrow and even into Friday, though Friday gets a little bit less blustery. But let's talk about it. We'll start off with what you need to know. 3 things to know as you head out. Winds continue to gust over 30 miles per hour. It is a hat or ponytail kind of day, probably the knit hat. You want to keep those ears warm. On the roads, icy patches, any refreezing this morning as temperatures are below freezing, so watch out. Anything that looks wet will likely be ice. And it feels like the teens, and it's going to feel like the teens for most of the day. We may feel at best like about 22 degrees. That is brutal. Your next 12 hours by 1 p.m. it's still just 30, and it feels like 16. Winds could gust to 40 miles an hour. And then tonight, sun goes down. It's still blustery, 26 degrees at 7 o'clock. And feeling like the teens already. And notice winds are with us all day long with gusts over 30, possibly near 40 miles an hour throughout the rest of the day and tomorrow as well. And I know what you're all thinking. You've heard there may be some snow this weekend. I've been getting texts from people saying, do I need to cancel things on Saturday? I will have the latest on what we're thinking here in the next Weather Center coming up in just a few minutes. Let's send it over to Kim Hudson now for a check on your traffic. Good morning.
Good morning.
Absolutely, man. I'm wishing I would have bought plane tickets to go down to the Orange Bowl tomorrow because that's the place to be, right? Not here. It is frigid here. It is cold. It is blustery. At least it's dry through the end of the week after the storm that came through on Monday. We are still seeing areas of refreezing though. So even though temperatures are really staying below freezing much of the week, you will warm up briefly. The sun shining as well. That will cause a little bit of that snow to melt and run off whatever's left over, especially those harder hit areas off to our south. And that means you've got that refreeze cycle, which is going to just keep on coming. Anything that looks wet is going to likely be icy here in the next few days. We're starting the day at 27 in Philadelphia. It's 24 in Pottstown, 24 in Allentown, all the way up here in the mountains, Mount Pocono, if you can see that, 15 degrees this morning, and the wind chill is even worse. Wind chills are in the teens and even single digits. Let's take a look at Mount Pocono. Sub-zero right now. Feels like 1 below zero. Right now it feels like 12 in Pottstown. In Allentown this morning, it is cold as well. It feels like 15. And we're not going to feel much better than this even as the entire day goes on. So let's take you through the rest of the forecast. What can we expect as we head through the end of the week and into the weekend? You may have heard a little bit of snow in the forecast for Saturday, but at one point it looked like it could be a lot of snow. It has transitioned to more like a little snow, so that could be good news or bad news depending on how you feel about snow. 31 degrees are high today, so you need the whole winter complement here. The boots, the hat, the gloves, the parka. Our friend Howard Monroe just walked into the studio and he is dressed basically like he took everything off the rack in this picture. You can see that on my Instagram if you'd like to, but he definitely got the memo, and hopefully you will as well. And the kids who might fight you on the coats, they won't want to do that this morning. It is bitter, and it's not going to get any better even through the end of the week. 2 pieces of energy are going to merge together to form our next system. It's this low you see here just off the coast of Texas, and it will draw some energy from a storm coming onshore over the northwest. These two meet up and then move off the eastern seaboard. That will happen into the weekend. In the meantime, it's just the wind that's going to be the story. Winds gusting over 30 miles an hour today. They die down slightly at night and then pick back up tomorrow. Gusts as high as 40 miles per hour tomorrow, making it feel like the teens really for the next 48 hours. I want to jump ahead to this next system. This is Saturday, and again, you can see where the center of the low is. Most of this is going to head out to sea before it tucks itself in to the coast, meaning we will get a little snow on the northern edge of this. But again, as of now, it's looking like a little snow, and most of the models are in agreement. This is our European model for Saturday, showing maybe an inch in Philadelphia, a little bit more in the Poconos. a ½ inch to an inch. I think this is a general coating to 2-inch type storm, not a kind of a debilitating snowstorm for travel across the region. We have put up a next weather alert if you have plans for Saturday, could slow you down. And of course, we still have a few days. There's a chance if this goes a little further north, we get some higher amounts. But again, not looking like a massive nor'easter type snowstorm at this time. It's dry for the Eagles, and then look at that, 43 on Monday. It is going to feel like summertime to start next week. Kim, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you so much.